Is it about to happen or not? The question on everyone's mind right now, ETFs coming, or are we going to get a further delay? Well, we're going to break down some interesting news as well as some further developments in the ETF saga on the back of a very, very red day for the cryptocurrency markets. Are you worried? Because I think it's coming by the end of this week. If you do as well, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the cryptocurrency space. With that being said, let's take a look at the market. 1.64 trillion. Interestingly, look at the volume, 115 billion, gives you an indication of exactly how aggressive that sell-off was today. Now, I talked about it in a previous video, the matrix port outcome report, whatever you want to call it, where it specifically talked about the fact that these ETFs would be rejected, albeit yesterday, Matrix Port were incredibly bullish about a $50,000 Bitcoin. That tells you exactly, in my opinion, the sentiment of the market. This was nothing more than a shakeout of retail investors. We can even see it on the chart, which we'll take a look at in just a minute. But what's been going on since we saw the massive dump? Well, a number of things that you need to be aware of, namely Goldman Sachs looking to get involved. Remember, authorized participants, we talked about this. We know that JP Morgan and particularly Jamie Dimon have getting involved. The same now can be said for Goldman Sachs. BlackRock and Grayscale could add Goldman Sachs as authorized ETF participants. Ultimately, these will be the firms that approve the ETFs. They basically can give them and sell them to anyone wanting to get into their fund. It says here, the crypto news site that said Grayscale and BlackRock could both add Goldman Sachs as authorized participants. That role would see Goldman Sachs create and redeem shares for each spot Bitcoin ETF based on market demand. So on a day where we see a significant push down, Goldman Sachs come out of the woodwork and now want a piece of the puzzle. Furthermore, we also see Fidelity Bitwise register the ETF securities. Now, this is important. Fidelity has taken one of the last steps to filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission Form 8A. An application for listing of the shares of the trust has been filed with and approved by the CBOE BZX Exchange. Likewise, Bitwise filed the Form 8A with the SEC on Friday. An application for listing of the shares of the trust has been filed with and approved by the New York Stock Exchange. That says the filings still have to be approved by the SEC, which is the meeting exchanged today regarding this matter. What does that mean? Ultimately, they are putting the final piece of the puzzle together. We also know the SEC, behind closed doors, undisclosed information, met with a number of exchanges, the New York Stock Exchange being one of them, as well as many others. And this is where I get to, and I'll kind of summarize it when I get to the end of the video, but this is interesting and, more importantly, very important in terms of what's coming out. And finally, and I guess this is where I get to, a Bitcoin ETF decision is imminent. Industry watchers debate if the SEC will delay. Now, interestingly, Wall Street also talking about these and expecting a definite move on this. Wall Street obviously being the big player. Once they're here, though, they are here. It says Marcus Thielen, head of research at the crypto platform Matrix Port, said on Tuesday he believes such applications fall short of critical requirements. The SEC has till Jan 10th deadline to rule on the proposal by ARK Invest and 21 Shares approaches. Other industry watchers continue to debate these funds fair. And ultimately, what does all this mean? Well, we obviously talked about at the very start of the video, this news from Matrix Port. Now, again, my view, absolutely deliberate in terms of what it is. Shake out the retail investor, ensuring that that institution, when it comes in, maximizes the potential money for all of those people that want to get in. You can see it here in the price. This was the big movement down. We have seen a level of consolidation now as people kind of gather their thoughts and understand where it is. Likewise, we see Tether with about $90 billion worth of volume. Tells us a lot of people did move into stable, potentially seeing a further push down in the market. But when you look at all of it, when you take the macro view of everything that's going on, for me, it's a moment in time. I was never in a world where I thought we would get ETFs today. I hoped we would get them, but I was never in a world where I thought Jan 10th, the SEC will take as long as they possibly can. Why are they meeting behind closed doors? Why are we accepting further amendments to their SEC applications, as well as even those kind of authorized participants that we're going to get? And then think about some of those people, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, all of which have stringent regulations attached to them, and if you like, are in the SEC's, Elizabeth Warren, all of those back pockets. So they are the insiders. They are the people that they want to get in. Has this all been about getting Goldman Sachs and a number of other big financial institutions into these Bitcoin ETFs? We obviously know Larry Fink and BlackRock have a substantial amount of play within most markets and asset classes. So for me, we will see exactly what happens. You can see there on the price, though, we are, and if you take it in all Now, context, only just back to where we were at the early part in January. Actually, all our gains from 24 have been diminished. That doesn't mean it's a bad sign. We aren't down below. Yes, we dropped to 41, maybe even a little bit lower, but we're still back. All of this is ETF excitement. This move that we got up was the anticipation driven by news sources that we thought we'd get an ETF on Tuesday. That obviously didn't come out. People are absolutely paper handing this. People expecting something that might not be there. Remember, peel the onion skin. I talked about this on my live stream. For me, I still think we see an ETF. I still think they're coming very imminently, but I do think BlackRock will be the first one. So we may even get ARK shares and 21 Bitcoin delayed in order to allow BlackRock to have the first bite of the cherry. The one I'm interested in, Bitwise, $200 million worth of seed in BlackRock, 10 million to start off with. But everything for me is aligning exactly as we thought it might. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Where's your view? Are we going to see an ETF this week? Or are we seeing a delay? Or do you think actually they're going to get denied? I'm most interested to know what you think. Don't forget, drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're brand new. We'd love you to be a part of our community. Check out some of the links in the description if you want to support the channel and join our free Discord. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.